Here I've called up the preset init so that we're starting with a blank slate, and I want to go to the edit page and start by looking at the header and the settings. So this is what it sounds like. Now we can turn on mono mode to get monophonic, but we can also introduce some glide so we get a pitch transition between notes. And this ties into the settings on the page here. So when we're in always mode, we're going to get that pitch transition even when the notes aren't overlapping. So if I hit a space or leave a space between the notes, like this, we get it. Whereas here, we're only going to get it when the notes overlap. So if they're not overlapping, there's no transition, but when they are, and we're hearing the two notes because we're not in monophonic mode. So they're in monophonic mode, we only hear the one note. And then we have a choice between constant time and constant rate. So that has to do with the interval or the distance of the note. So for example, I'm going to increase the glide time. And when we do closer intervals, the amount of time it takes for the pitch transition is constant. When it's a wider interval, it's the same amount of time, whereas when it's constant rate, the closer intervals take a shorter amount of time. There's hardly any. But as we get to wider intervals, the amount of time increases. And that's how that works. So let's just bring this back down and jump back to the edit page, and we'll look at the main sections here. So we have the wavetable selector, and here we can select the wavetable that's used by the wavetable source, which is on the left. And there are 4 categories. We have analog over here, we have digital, vocal, and the PPG waves. And here we can blend between the two, so I'll just dial all the way so we're only hearing the wavetable. Now here we have the sample selector, and again there are 4 categories, and again I'm dialing up so we can hear only that. And here we have acoustic, and then we have keys, and then we have Vox, and then finally we have pads. And within each of these, of course, we can choose different samples to use, just as we can choose different wavetables to use within these. Let's choose one from Modern Talk. That's nice. Now here we can tune. There's coarse tuning. So it's common to offset them by an octave, but you can offset them by a 4th or 5th. Then we have fine tuning as well. Now here we can go through the position of the wavetable. And then here we get sync to sync the 2 oscillators together. And what's interesting is we have different types of sync that we can get at here. Here I've got one of the PPG wavetables set, and I've offset the position. Sounds like that. And I want to give you a sense of what the oscillator sync sounds like in these different modes when we're syncing the 2 oscillators together. So I'm going to go to LFO1, and I have this set to the speed, but this also can be changed and toggle between rate and fade in. But I have it set here for a half note, and I'm going to engage this and just dial this up so that we're modulating the oscillator sync. And then what I can do is go through this, and with these series of notes programmed up, you'll hear the quality of the oscillator sync between, in this case, string ensemble and the wavetable, and we're hearing mainly the wavetable. So that's going through the oscillator sync. Very different quality. I want to give you a sense of what they sound like. Classic pulse width modulation. Sharp resonance. And of course, you don't have to modulate it as deeply. You can get just a little bit of movement like that. So I'm going to end off here, and that's the big picture of the source section where we choose the wavetable and then we choose the sample. We can blend between the two of them. We can offset the wavetable position. And more importantly, we can sync the two oscillators using these variety of modes. We'll continue with more in the next video.